By now, if you're Pakistani, you've probably seen these videos of young Pakistani students taking pledges for Pakistan.
I pledge that I will be pilot and I'll help everyone. Pilot.
Yeah, he's a pilot. Great.
I'll pledge that I will save my country.
He will save the country, inshallah.
These videos are circulating all over the internet, not just in Pakistani meme circles, but globally. And they started off becoming popular on TikTok, and then their popularity exploded so much that even non-Pakistanis are widely sharing them and making parodies of them. So what's happening in these videos? Turns out this was actually a school event that took place nearly a decade ago at a Pakistani international school called PISJES. The woman who was facilitating this event and repeating the lines said by the kids was a school principal, and her name is Sehar Kamran. Today I talked to one of the students who actually went to the school and was there at this event. Her name is Areej Khalid, and her first reveal video on TikTok has about 1 million views at this point.
Put your hands in the air if you're loving tonight.
Areej will answer several questions that are probably on the top of many of our minds, including what was actually happening at this event? What was this school like? How did she find out about these videos? Her perspective on the controversies around all of this, and much more. So you are not the girl who said to sacrifice my own life for Pakistan.
No, I'm not that girl.
Yeah. What was your line?
Okay, so there were basically a lot of videos going viral at that time.
Uh-huh.
And mine was obviously the 11, 12-year-old me thought it was fine to say, they asked me what I want to be when I grow up that would benefit my country. And I said I want to grow up and become a doctor and make all the ill people as good as new.
My pledge is that I'll be a doctor and make all of the ill people as good as new.
Great.
Obviously, there was an error in the phrasing of the sentence, but
Yeah. I
that's
saw
why
that
I
one
went
too. I think
viral.
there were memes around that one too.
A lot of
You know?
people thought it was old people as good as new.
Yeah.
And no, that was not old people.
That was not the line.
There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with old people.
So a little bit about yourself. Do you live in the US or Canada?
No, I live in Canada. So I was born in Makkah, Saudi Arabia. And I was raised in Jeddah, went to PISJ obviously. And then when I was about like 14, 15 years old, I moved to Canada.
Uh-huh.
And now I'm in my final year of university. I'm studying biology, honors biology, and taking that from there. And we'll see what we're going to do after that. But yeah, I'm not working currently because of COVID and everything. So we're not really working at the moment. But yeah, I'm studying at the moment.
Okay, that's good. So you were 14 when you moved to Canada. And then what age were you when that event happened in Jeddah?
Okay, so I was calculating that before because honestly, I do not remember when, like, I know that event happening. I just don't remember how old I was.
Yeah.
So I was looking at it and I kind of did the math and I was about from the age of 11 to 13. I was either 11, 12, or 13. That's all I know at the moment.
Oh, so yeah. Okay. So it was like a middle school year, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I was preteen.
Yeah. Now, the actual school, what is it called? Like typically, is it PISJES or
No,
do
so
they have a short for it?
it's PISJES. It's Pakistan International School Jeddah, English section. Because there were two, I think when our parents were growing up, Urdu section was the thing. Like it was a huge hype. And then by the time we were like growing up, English section was also made. And I used to go to the English section. So it was PISJES.
Okay. So Pakistani International School of Jeddah.
English section. Yep.
English section. Okay, yeah. And that kind of explains why everything was in English.
Oh, well, sure, yeah.
In that particular thing. So it's interesting because a lot of people, after seeing these videos, they thought they were pretty recent, like it's just something that just happened.
Yeah, I know. I saw that too. So it was very funny when I saw the first video, I think that went really out there. It was about the kid saying, who was fumbling, I think, and he was saying that he wanted to grow up and do something. I'm not sure what the video was.
Be a pilot or something? Or
I'm not sure.
One?
Yeah, something like that. He was like in green, in like the green Pakistan jersey and all that stuff. So I saw that video and I was like, oh my God, that's my school. Where did that come from?
So you saw it right away. You recognized it.
yeah, obviously, who doesn't? And I was like,
Yeah.
wait, where did this come up from? And then my little sister, being the techie person she is, she went and searched up the entire video, and she's like, this video was when we were kids. And then we saw the entire video. Obviously, I was in there, my sister was in there, my little brother, who was in playgroup at that time, he was like a little kid. He was in the video too. And yeah, but I think the video got taken down later. But yeah, so yeah,
That's the original one, or like which one got taken down?
I think the original one that was posted on YouTube, it was like 3 hours.
I saw it last week, but maybe it got taken down. But I feel like somebody else probably uploaded it by now.
Probably is, yeah, probably. Because and my entire take on that was, how did this come up 10 years later? Like, how did this even? I mean, it was uploaded back a long time ago. Obviously, it didn't get uploaded recently, and I just there. And
But it blew up on TikTok recently, right?
It did.
That's what it is. So how was the first time you saw it on TikTok? You recognized it right away then too?
Okay, so I mean, when I first initially saw the video,
Yeah.
of the kid saying something, I was like, I just hope I don't come off. I just hope nothing like that happens. And then I was like, you know what? It's fine, whatever. And then I guess I was sleeping one day, and my little sister called me, and she was like, Areej, check TikTok. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes like, you're on it. And I was like, what do you mean? I know I have an account. And she goes like, no, you're on it. Like you're kind of viral.
You're really there.
And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So I saw my video. I was like, oh, okay, that's me. So it was honestly, at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Because it was a long time ago. But then I think my mom and my little sister were like, I think it's a positive thing. That was who you were a long time ago, and this is how you've come. So, I mean, for me, it was like a check, like, oh my God, that was a long time ago, and this is where I'm at now.
I remember when I first saw these videos on TikTok, at first I just skipped past them. I was like, scroll. I don't know what these are. And then, the fifth time it's like hard to ignore. So I asked, what is this? And then I realized, okay, it's a little amusing. I get it. The lines are kind of amusing.
Some were, yes.
Speaking of the lines, were they like, how did this event go? Were they memorized, or did you like prepare for those ahead of time, or did they give the lines to you, or how did that work?
No. So basically, I don't know if you know a lot about the school and how it went down.
No.
But it was obviously a Pakistan international school, but it was in Jeddah. And our principal obviously took a lot of pride in, which everyone should, in their country, and she was very patriotic.
I will run a school like PISJES, and I will be the principal like Miss Sehar Kamran.
Wow, that's the spirit, inshallah.
Every now and then she hosted events, whether they were on a small scale or a big scale. And she hosted some events where kids got to experience the culture, or talk about how they feel about the culture in many different ways. And this was just a take on one of them. But I remember, as much as I remember, we were in class, and then by the end of the day, they were like, oh, you'd have to go down and because the principal's coming and something's going to be happening. So we're like, okay. So when we went down, everyone is obviously standing in assemblies and stuff. And she was like, okay, so basically the questions were, what are you going to be when you grow up? And how is that going to help your country? B, what is something you love about your country? Or what are you going to do for your country? Stuff like that. It was not by any means about what are you going to do to sacrifice your life or something.
That's just the kids kind of
100%.
Yeah, right.
It's like a domino effect. One of the kids came up and was like, oh, I want to sacrifice my life for Pakistan. And then kids, obviously, because they imitate like people, and they didn't have anything to say. The other went up and, oh, I also want to sacrifice my life.
I'll sacrifice my life for Pakistan.
Yeah, we are ready to sacrifice our life for Pakistan.
I can sacrifice my life for Pakistan. I'll help the poor and needy people by building schools.
You see, look at the pledge, ready to sacrifice.
To sacrifice my own life for Pakistan.
That's the spread, great.
The way they say it, sometimes it's pretty amusing. Like one of the girls said, I want to sacrifice my own life for Pakistan. Not just my life, but my own life. So it's okay if you want to sacrifice your life for Pakistan, but I want to sacrifice my own life.
To sacrifice my own life for Pakistan.
Anyway, you're probably right that it was probably a domino effect.
Yeah, and if you look at the video specifically, not all of it was sacrificing my life. Most of it was basically, oh, let's say I think one of the kids also said, I want to become an architectural engineer and build some things. Someone was like, oh, I want to become a doctor. Some kids out of those were like, oh, I just want to sacrifice my life. Or I want to become, most of them were like, I want to become a cricketer. Or some of them were, I want to become a pilot. And some of them took that a little too far, saying whatever they wanted to. But yeah, that's all it was.
So I think the video I had seen on YouTube was like a 3-hour event. Was it actually 3 hours?
Yeah, no. So if you see the actual video, that's what I'm saying. It was a 3-hour event, but I think what she did was, so the school initially had kids from playgroup to O levels and A levels. So it had like high school, pre-high school, every single thing all in one school, right?
Yeah.
So what she did was she divided it into groups. Let's say kindergarten kids would come at a certain time and they would say it in their area. And then she had this tiny event with them. Then kids from ages, grade 6 to, I think it was 8 or something, would all, that's where I was. Actually, I don't even remember what grade I was in at that time. But yeah, that's where the kids were standing and that's how they were going to do. So I think combining it, it was 3 hours or maybe longer. I don't know. But it definitely was not filmed in a day. It was like 1, 2.
Oh, it was separate. Okay, yeah. But it was compiled, basically.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about the school, PISJES. Did your parents have to pay for it? Was it like a private school and was it upscale?
So when I enrolled in the school back at that time, or specifically there was a certain time when that school was considered a very big thing. It was considered prestigious, one of the expensive schools in Jeddah as well. And everyone, so you couldn't, getting in the school, like getting accepted into the school was also a huge deal. You couldn't just be like, oh, give the money and be like, oh, I want my kid to be in that school. You had to go through a series of tests. I think the kid, they had to, it was an admissions test or something. And every kid had to give that. And if they passed that, they were part of the school. And yes, it was one of the schools, top schools at that time. And I think infrastructure-wise, it did amazing. I remember when I first went into the school, when I was enrolled in grade 1, it was still big, but it was like 1 or 2 buildings, okay? And by the time I left that school, it was literally a community inside of a gated area. So yeah, the school was built amazingly. It had a lot of, since I mentioned before as well, obviously the principal wanted the touch of Pakistan inside the school as well. So she made sure she did like certain things, as in so whether it was education, sports, or arts or anything, she held all different types of events. Our school was known for having a lot of events, firstly. And because of her relationships with like Pakistani people or like famous people in Pakistan, I think we'd have like VIP guests come to some of those events as well. I'm not sure, but at one point in time, like the people, like I'm not that political, but so a lot of people came to the VIP events as well. So the events used to be a big deal.
Yeah. So about the principal, Sehar Kamran is her name. I just did a little bit of basic research about her, not a lot, but just a little bit. And I looked her up on YouTube and I realized, okay, she's very politically involved, number 1. And then 2, she's on a lot of these TV political talk shows, giving commentary and debating and stuff.
Yeah, no. So basically when we used to, I studied there, she was only a principal. And then I think a point came where she also became like a political person and also worked in Pakistan. Yeah. So she was in the middle. She became a senator. Yeah, she was a senator. And I think that's when she had to leave the school. She wasn't a part of the school anymore because obviously you could either work in one of those. So yeah, that's how she then followed a political line.
Yeah, and I can imagine that's kind of difficult to pull off, like being the principal of a school in one country and then running for Senate in another country.
I mean, I don't know how she did it, but she did it.
Yeah. What was she like? Did you know her outside of that event? Did you know her pretty well? Is she nice? Is she good?
Personally, I only knew her as a principal. And as a principal, she was a very good principal. I mean, she wasn't one of those strict, like, honestly, as a person, I don't know her because I don't know if you know, there's this notion in like Pakistan and Jeddah and all that. Your principal is a big deal. You can't talk to them, or like, if they come up, you stand, or like, like stuff like that out of respect. So yeah, personally, I did not know her, but as a
kind of distant. Yeah.
Obviously, but as a principal, she was very good at her job. And that's all I have to say on that.
Yeah, so now after seeing all these memes and jokes over the internet, how do you feel about all of this? Like, do you think this is good publicity or bad publicity?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, initially when it started, it was all about like, wow, okay, fun, like, haha, for the kids who went to that school, they're like, oh my God, that's us. And then, and some of the kids who said a few lines, I think some of them who really got like viral were obviously a little too, I wouldn't call it patriotic, but a little too, I don't know the right word for it, but a little too, let's say they would come off as harsh.
Yeah.
So yeah, those were the lines that were getting viral at that time. And it was fine till it was like a joke and everything.
Yeah.
Most of them were like mostly even making fun of the words. Like, let's say I said ill, it turned into old. Sehar Kamran used to say great a lot, and it turned into great.
That's the spread. Great. Great. Whoa, great.
Which on every single one of my TikToks now I get great.
Great.
Or on my Insta pictures I get great.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, your Instagram is public, right? Anybody can follow you. So.
Yeah, I made it public recently. But yeah, so a lot of that was just great, or to sacrifice my own life for Pakistan when that came out.
Right.
That was fine, but I think after a certain point, people did take it a little too far, especially with the kids. I mean, jokes is all fine. I was fine. Like, मेरे साथ इतना वैसे कुछ हुआ नहीं था, so I was lucky on that. मेरे like old ill या उस बात का मजाक रह गया था, which was like, okay, whatever, lighter
whatever.
issue.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but like specifically there, I mean, I do know that there were some kids who got trolled to a certain point that they had to deactivate their Insta or socials. I know one of the girls was on TikTok and she literally had to.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about them. Are you in touch with some of them, or?
No, I'm not in touch with them.
Okay, but you just know about them.
But I do know that they were forced to get off of TikTok just because of all the. See, there's ways people can react to how it's being dealt with, right? And it was getting a lot to a certain point where some of them were even getting death threats. Yeah,
and I don't get that. Like, death threats for what? Like, what? Just being a 12-year-old and saying some lines? I don't get it.
Right. So, I mean, I think it was more towards people who kind of took offense to lines like, I want to destroy India.
Yeah, that was the most controversial one, I think, yeah.
When I will grow up, I will be army and save Pakistan and destroy India.
Strong army. Whoa, great.
Growing up, there's, I mean, first of all, there's no justification for why that should have even been said. But growing up, kids, their biggest rivalry for India is the Pakistan-India cricket match. Okay. And it's a big deal in Pakistan and back in Saudi as well. It was a big deal. Like, no, even if I live here, even my Pakistani friends here, the Pakistan-India cricket match is considered a big hype. Like, oh my God, like this is the deal. And with that being said, little kids from there pick up, oh, you know, like when the match is going on, oh, we're definitely going to win from India, or this is going to be a win for us, or India says the same thing for Pakistan, which is fine. That's a healthy competition.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids, I'm pretty sure the kid in the video, I want to destroy India. It was obviously he's a little kid and it was said in a different context, but it was taken as a lot of people, even on my TikTok, started writing, don't you think you were being raised as in a cult or being brainwashed into thinking that you're going to destroy a country or something? And to all that, I say it was all jokes at first, but no, it wasn't a cult. It was just one or two kids who said that. And even if you notice, the kid who said that, he did not look any older than 8 or 10.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, definitely. Super young. Yeah.
If a sensible person said that, who maybe even a teenager said that, I would have said, okay, that's where there's a problem. But when they're kids, I'm definitely sure by the time when they went back, the teachers obviously would have told them, because this is how the school was, they would have said, oh, like there's a certain limit to you sacrifice your life. And all that was definitely explained. But people with the death threats, going back to that, I haven't gotten specific death threats, but I have gotten like, why don't you just bomb yourself? Or why weren't you in the 9/11 plane? And so people are bringing like different, people are bringing like different incidents. And especially with the pilot kid, I have a lot of comments on my videos.
My plan is that I will be pilot and I will help everyone. Pilot.
Yeah, he's a pilot. Great.
Some of them I was reading, maybe he was in the 9/11 thingy, or maybe stuff like that.
I think the joke was healthy when it was in the brown sphere. Even Indians seemed pretty chill about it at that time. But when it went global, like outside of brown TikTok, that's when I think it started spiraling out of control.
One of the guys on my video, he goes like, "She's not wrong. I used to go to ISJ. It was Indian International School, Jeddah.
Yeah.
And if you were there, this was how, like, it was all like a thing. I'm not justifying it, but yeah. And then I think it was taken even further when I think after the videos went viral, Sehar Kamran's mother passed away, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I think it was too far, where people started messaging her or DMing her or writing on her profile
on Instagram.
picture,
I saw that. Yeah.
Writing
I saw the
hurtful
comments.
comments, right?
Yeah.
That was taken too far. And it was kind of sad. Like, those people were Pakistani themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a principal. She did not do anything wrong in one of those videos.
Yeah.
She did say, great, like this. The one thing that is very controversial is, yes, she should have stopped the kid from saying that.
Some of the kids, yeah, right.
Yeah.
She could have corrected them, yeah, as an adult.
100%.
Yep.
But I don't know what her take on that was, and I don't know what her thought process was.
Yeah, and I noticed that she didn't repeat the line. Like, after the kid said, "I want to, destroy India," she didn't repeat it. She just said, "Oh, wow, great army."
And my take on that was, I obviously can't speak for her, but she definitely did not want to lower the confidence of the kids talking, because it was a big deal coming up in front
or
of
change the mood of the event. She was just trying to like brush it off, like just hush it off.
100%.
Basically.
And those kids, obviously, when they go back to class, their teachers would have said this 100%. And that's that. I do not know why it went up to a certain point where the death of her mother was considered, like, God forbid, but it was, a lot of people were writing hurtful comments and saying that she deserved stuff like that. That's where I think it was taken a little too far. Yeah. Not even a little, way too far.
Right. And I keep thinking about whether she knows how famous she is, Sehar Kamran, because her Instagram seems pretty open, honestly. Anybody can comment on it. And I see the trolls are everywhere. So I would have thought that by now she would have moderated it. But she hasn't seemed to show that she knows about anything going on. Has anybody even told her?
I mean, I don't know if she knows this or not, but I'm pretty sure she does know about it, because it's kind of
maybe she's just not good with social networks, so maybe she just doesn't know how to.
But I do know she restricted her comments on her.
Okay, a quick update on this conversation. Recently, Sehar Kamran released a video where she acknowledged these viral videos and responded to the criticism. This 5-minute video is on YouTube. We'll play a short clip of it right now, but at the time of this recording with Areej, this hadn't been released yet.
देखिए, वतन से मोहब्बत का इजहार तो बड़ा खूबसूरत जज्बा है। हम सब अपने मुल्क से प्यार करते हैं, अपनी मोहब्बत का इजहार करते हैं, कभी कौमी नगमे गा के, कभी झंडा उठा के, कभी 23 मार्च को घरों को सजा के, कभी 14 अगस्त को। तो इसी तरीके से वो बच्चे जो कि पाकिस्तान में पैदा नहीं हुए, जो पाकिस्तान से बाहर रहते हैं, वो तारिकीन वतन जो मुल्क से बाहर पाकिस्तान के लिए खिदमत अंजाम दे रहे हैं, या अपनी जॉब्स की वजह से, अपने रोज़गार की वजह से मुल्क से बाहर हैं, उनके बच्चे वो किस तरीके से पाकिस्तान के साथ अपनी वाबस्तगी का इजहार करें, तो उनके पास बहुत कम एवेन्यूज होते हैं।
Maybe she's still.
Yeah, I mean, she's got to know by now, right? Like, we live in a global world.
100% she knows, but like, she has a lot going on, as you said. Like, I haven't researched on her or where she is now, but like, from what you said, she's obviously a political person. She's got that going on. Then her mother recently passed away too, and that's a big loss.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure she's dealing with all that stuff. And to be honest, people are just testing patience.
Yeah, of course.
Where if she's commenting on that or not, that should not be determining if people should stop this or not. I think this should have been stopped a long time ago. Like, the grape jokes were all fine. Like, okay, I'd laugh at them too. That's all good. But I mean, trolling someone's mother who just passed away was way.
Yeah, and when it comes to death threats, I don't know why, but I think this is a new phenomenon now. In recent years, it started happening a lot more. People take part in events and they don't realize that they could potentially get worldwide coverage. So this happened like 11 years ago, and you'd expect it to be buried somewhere. And then suddenly these types of events, they just blow up on social media, and then everybody turns into the ethical police, right? You should have done this, you should not have said that. But in day-to-day life, I'm pretty sure everybody makes mistakes, and these things happen, and they're not in our control all the time. So that's one thing. The other thing is about the kid saying he wants to destroy India. I'm pretty sure that's like a sentiment that's used to basically circulate on both sides, not just on our side. But when we're kids, we hear adults talking about politics all the time, not just at the school, but in our homes. So it's not just the school's fault.
100%.
They tell stories like, पैंट की जंग में हमने उनके टैंक उड़ा दिए वगैरह वगैरह. And I'm sure the kids in India hear stuff like that too. They're just repeating what they're hearing from adults. At 8-year-olds, you don't really know, right? You're just mimicking. You're just repeating what you've been hearing.
No, I totally believe your point of view on that. खाली स्कूल पे एक बच्चे की responsibility खाली स्कूल पे नहीं आती. When the kid grows up, it's how the parents raise the kid, how the education played an important part in that, and there's various other factors that come into it. And it's videos obviously because it's over social media, and social media people are like, as you said, the moral police or something. It's पे लगता है कि oh yeah, the school is teaching this stuff. But I mean, as being a student of that school, no, the school was not teaching anything like that. It was a chill environment, and like you said before, ये जो बातें like yes, news पे बहुत चलती हैं इस तरह की बातें, TV में movies इस तरह की बनती हैं, right? And personally, I kind of try to stay away from all that stuff. Some of my best friends are Indian.
Yeah, same here.
And and I have nothing against them for anything. I have nothing more than love for them, right? So इसलिए I'm pretty sure if you were to follow up those kids where are they now?
Yeah, right. They're probably completely different.
They would probably say the same thing.
Yeah, right.
They would be, पहले तो उनको याद नहीं होगा कि उन्होंने ये बोला था. And अगर अब जाहिर है कुछ वायरल हो ही गया तो वो देखेंगे, they're gonna be like, oh, I don't know why I said that. And I'm not saying it's right. It does obviously बहुत से factors बीच में आते हैं कि why they are, उनके दिमाग में ये बात आई भी कैसे. But yeah, my first take on that would be because kids obviously they take up stuff from very small situations, like the Pakistan-India match को इतना seriously लेते हैं. Like I personally am not a cricket fan, but I do know how people are so serious and patriotic towards those matches. चाहे वो पाकिस्तान की side हो, चाहे वो India की side हो, right?
Yeah, it's a very emotional. It's a very emotional sport for us, I think.
100%. I mean, even in Canada, basically I don't know if they it's like do you know if you know this is a thing, but in my universities or different universities they have this thing called PSA, so it's called Pakistan Student Association.
Yeah, we have that. Yeah, every university.
Yeah, so they have this. I think last year there was a Pakistan-India match that was happening. That was again considered a big deal. And some of our best friends, obviously, they were India, and everyone was like, "Oh no, we're gonna win! Oh no, we're gonna win!" So it was like a healthy competition like that. There's nothing against like, "Oh, we hate India" or something like that, because that's honestly a very big political debate to even get into, and I think we should leave that for
exactly right. Now, I think people living over here in the US and Canada and the UK, they mix in a lot better with each other. And then we realize how similar we actually are, right? The 100%. Only differences that we have are some religious differences, but culturally, we're so similar. And there's no reason to hate each other. And I think, like you said, most of the kids probably grown up by now, even if they haven't moved to Western countries, even if they're in Saudi or Pakistan, they're a lot more mature now. And honestly, out of how many kids spoke over there, and only one of them said, destroy India.
That's my whole point.
The only other thing that I see people criticizing it for is the bad accents or the wording and things like that. And that's just, come on, man, it's just kids. And they're trying really hard. They're speaking English in a majority English speaking country. So I don't understand what all the criticism is about.
Even in my video, the English part was very surprised. People were like, oh my God, she can speak English.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I don't know how to react to that, but okay, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, even to sacrifice my own life for Pakistan, if we look into it, why did that girl go viral? Because everyone had this notion, or everyone had this idea that she put up an accent and said that. Or some kids who were saying stuff in a bad accent. To be honest, initially I thought that's the only reason why the videos are going viral, because of the kids' accent, or because kids are kids and they can't they're fumbling in the middle, and it's just funny, right?
Yeah.
But after that, I was like, okay, this has been taken to a little out of proportion, and there's a lot going on.
Yeah, exactly right. So, funnily enough, I was trying to find some of the other kids too. And the thing is, I did see some of the other videos on TikTok where some kids were saying, oh yeah, that's me, I'm all grown up now. But a lot of them seemed to be fake, so I wasn't convinced. but you stuck out to me because unlike the others, I felt like you looked a lot like your younger self. And I said, okay, that's definitely her. And then you showed your child pictures as well in the video with the principal. And I was like, okay, yeah, this one's definitely legit.
So to everyone out there who saw my last video, which apparently went viral, yes, I am the girl from the video. I am the one who said, I want to make all the ill people as good as new. And no, I'm not the one who said I want to sacrifice my life for Pakistan. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just not that person. So you guys still need to figure out who that is. When I was a kid and when I used to live in Jeddah, I did go to this school. And yes, this is me a few years after that video. And this is the legendary Miss Sehar Kamran. This is me a few years later when I grew up. So long story short, it was 10 years ago. And yes, that girl is me. But the important thing is, it was a long time ago. So for everyone out there who's trolling all the other kids who were once children and said stuff out of patriotism or whatever, let's stop trolling them because we're Pakistani and let's show everyone what Pakistanis are actually all about, not just hating on each other.
Yeah, definitely legit. That is me. I had a lot of people write on my initial video where I said, oh, that's me now. People were like, yeah, I don't believe it. Stuff like that. Yeah. Right? And I was like, well, this is justifiable. Yeah. So I had to make another video with proof that I did go to the same school. Yeah. And some of the kids, yes, they are making videos. And some of them are, I haven't seen one that's actually legit. Yeah. But the ones I've seen are, some of them are like fake. I haven't seen a lot of those also. And I mean, at first I would think, oh yeah, that's true. But then I go to the comment section and stuff and everyone's like, the person who made the video themselves is like, oh yeah, it's not me. Yeah. They just did it for views, which initially people thought I did just because I wanted to get viral on that. Yeah. Initially I started this because when the video came out, I didn't even know it would go viral. I only had like 200 followers on my TikTok and I was like, oh, only my 200 friends will see this. Okay, this is me now. But little did I know it would kind of go viral.
I haven't found anybody else who is legit yet, to be honest. But maybe it's a good thing that they're not coming out. Like, especially the ones with the more popular lines. Like I said, with the type of feedback that sometimes you get, like the negative feedback, right, and the hateful comments, they might get even more because of the things that they said. So it's probably better to stay low-key sometimes because once you get famous, there's no way to go back. There's no way to like undo that.
That or once something's on social media, there's no going back.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So what are your thoughts? Is the hype and the memes around this Pakistani school event justified? What about the controversies? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? At the end of the day, for many Pakistanis both living in the country and outside, it's refreshing actually to hear such enthusiasm for our country. Don't just look at the 10 or 15 clips that have gone viral. Look at the whole event and you'll find many children who have the ambition to do good for their country.
We all have to take step forward. We have to take step forward. We are the people of Pakistan. We are the one who represent Pakistan. So don't wait for anyone. Take your step. Broaden your vision. Serve your country.
We are Pakistani! We are proud to be Pakistani! Pakistan Zindabad!
Wow! Pakistan Zindabad!
If you enjoyed this episode of the Popcorn Podcast, find us on any of your favorite listening apps, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Pocket Cast, Patari, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for Popcorn. You can find all of the links on our website as well, popcorn.com. We'll see you next time.